We're in the future! And you know what future people love? That's right, it's records and reels.
Records and reels.
Really?
Records and reels.
Episode 1?
Let's call this 0.5.
Episode's
0.5.
I like that.
I'm Richie.
I'm Ben.
And we are members of Funny Please and a local improv, sketch comedy, and podcast group.
We both decided that we love music. And we love movies.
Movies, especially celluloid.
So, we've decided to, this will be like our side project. This will be like our Tom Tom Club.
This will be like our Tom Tom Club.
To our pre-show discussion of
Funny
Talking
Please is
Heads.
the Talking Heads, and we're the Tom Tom Club.
Yeah, we're the Tom Tom Club, and I'm okay with that.
I'm very okay with that. I do love the Tom Tom Club. One album, get out of here. That's all you need. All right, so for this first episode, we'd like to kind of just talk about us.
Because we're narcissists.
Exactly. We want you guys to be a part of our little family of what we talk about and how we talk about things. And to get that, you kind of need some background on us, especially how we do film and stuff like that. So I think the first thing we should talk about is our favorite films.
Yeah, I like
if you could, talk about your favorite film, Ben.
Oh, me?
Yes, please.
My favorite films. All right, I'll start with I'll start with one that started as like, it's like a nostalgic thing, but it's like, it's been a favorite of mine for a long time. Napoleon Dynamite, I'll just say it. I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I still think it's funny. That's because, I don't know, it's still goofy, and it's still just like, it's almost surreal, and that's why I kind of love it.
It is very surreal if you think about it.
It like verges on it.
Like, how does this town that's supposed to kind of be in present day exist in like this weird 80s,
literally
early 90s, like just void?
And they have all that wood paneling. It's like, where are
they go to all the stores? You just hear like, doo, doo.
He works on a farm, like.
Right? So you watch that movie and you just smell like musty.
For real, exactly.
Like you just smell must,
and that's what I like. I like smelling the must. Yeah.
Mine's kind of in the same vein of your nostalgia there, but my favorite movie of all time is the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That's a good one.
With Gene Wilder. And I really like that movie just because of the nostalgic quality of it.
Yeah.
Everything is so larger than life, but the way it's shown isn't.
Right.
It's a kid's movie for adults because there's so much lessons that can be used in both.
And I didn't realize till I was like more grown up, but I was like, this movie is very 70s.
Very 70s.
Super 70s.
What do you get when you go down streets?
Like, it really, I love it. I like that pick.
We like stuff that makes us feel comfortable when we're watching it. So a lot of our favorite films and things are things that make us feel comfortable. So we hope with this show and everything to also look at films that take us completely out of the bubble.
That's what I'm saying, because a lot of good films are also depressing films.
Very much so.
They're obscene films. They're just not the happiest. So,
exactly. Yep.
So it's always good to have like some comfort food to come home to. Like I like Napoleon Dynamite to do that with. Like Simon Pegg, Edgar Wright movies.
Yes, a lot of the Edgar Wright.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, At World's End. The World's End, excuse me.
And he also did Baby Driver, which is an awesome action film.
Yep.
Especially if you want to talk about music and film together.
Right, exactly.
And how that was kind of merged. It's awesome.
We should have saved that for when we segued.
That's okay.
I'll bring it back.
We'll bring it back.
He also did Scott Pilgrim, another great movie.
Another great movie based around music.
We were just talking about that soundtrack too. That's a
awesome.
great one. It's got covers, it's got originals, it's great.
It's got other guest artists in it, like
Beck's have featured prominently in that album. I like Plumtree. They're a good indie rock band.
Let's kind of go like by genre. So we discussed our favorite movies. Favorite action movie.
I was gonna say Hot Fuzz because that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick something else besides Hot Fuzz. I really like The Raid Redemption.
Yes, I've always wanted to see that. I've heard of the cinematography. I know is amazing,
and the choreography too of the camera and of the actors fighting. It's really tightly done. Everything's like they're in corridors, so it's like how did they get this?
One of my favorite action films is I'm actually going to go to the 70s into China, especially Hong Kong. A film by the Shaw brothers, Run Shaw, called The Five Deadly Venoms. Known if you're on Netflix or anything else, it's now just been called The Five Venoms.
Okay.
But amazing cinematography, amazing editing style. the choreography is top notch. The acting is also really good there too. So it works because you can have just sort of that action for action's sake.
Right.
But to have the acting there that really works with it. The story is good. The plot setup is also really nice. The way that they have to reveal each other to each other is also really great there. So that's action. All right, so let's go from that to drama.
Drama. I think that one that always... There's so many good ones, that's the problem.
Exactly.
But I think the one that always floats to my mind when I think drama is Doubt. I forget who directed it, but it's it's based off a stage production of a play by the same name. Very small cast. It's just it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, Amy Adams, Meryl Streep, and Viola Davis. And it's such a cold, upsetting kind of film, but it's also ambiguous. And it lets you, like, think for yourself, really. And I love films that do that. Like, and it basically prods you to think for yourself, like, what do you think happened?
Exactly. One of my favorite drama films is Prisoners.
Oh, yes. Prisoners is a good
with, was it Paul Dano?
Paul Dano, yep. Jake
Gyllenhaal and...
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman, yep, definitely. And it's the way it just kind of all unfolds and it hits you. And it makes you feel like this could really happen.
Exact. Another cold movie.
Very cold. Yes. And very hot at times.
And very hot
at times. So.
Very wet.
Very wet movie. You like slippery, sloppery action?
Watch Prisoners. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. So I think we can go from drama. I think a good segue from drama would be going into horror.
Horror, okay. Yeah. I wanna say my favorite horror. I'll say, all right. This is just what I'm thinking now. So I'll go with Raw. Raw. It's a French film from 2017. It's about a young girl who goes to veterinary school, who's a vegetarian, and she has her first taste of meat, and then she can't cope with it.
Film, yes.
It's about coming of age in a very disgusting and gruesome way, but it works very well, I think. And it gets a little silly at times, but it feeds into like the horror of it. I think it fits the tone well.
Yeah. My favorite horror movie is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Another good
by
one.
Tobe Hooper.
Yep.
Especially at that time, horror movies take place at night.
Yeah.
You notice a lot of them take place at night. So you kind of then get into your head, oh, it's at night. You kind of suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
This horror film, I don't even want to say if it's a horror film. It's a gore film. Takes place in broad daylight.
Yes.
So you're like, this can happen to me at any time. And I don't even like driving like in the woods anymore because of that film. And we live in rural Massachusetts. Yep. So
there's so many like iconic or just moments that stick out in my mind from that movie, like when the guy goes up to the front door and just bonks him on the head and he starts flailing around.
Yep.
And then there is a scene at night when they're in the woods and that there's like a jump scare, but it's not. It works. It's not like a crazy jump scare. It works very well. They use it sparingly, so I think it works.
One of my favorite moments is the very end when he's just swinging the chainsaw, and then it cuts to the young girl in the back of the pickup just laughing.
Yeah.
Because what can you do in that situation except laugh?
Yeah.
So.
Oh God. And he's hanging people on the hooks. Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good.
So let's go from horror into surrealism.
Ooh, okay. You start this one because I gotta think.
Ooh.
Haha, see, it's not so easy when you go first.
So I'd have to say my favorite surrealist film is, and it's going to be very cliche, but The Holy Mountain by Alejandro Jodorowsky.
See, I think I was going to pick El Topo by him, so...
Exactly, yeah. It's a challenge to get through it.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not so much as like it's gruesome for gruesome's sake in horror.
Right.
Or it's not overly dramatic for drama sense. It's because that image, and you could take any still of that movie and go, what is this image telling you?
Literally.
Everything is a symbol for something else.
Yes, you can just pick it apart. Isn't that the movie? They like paint their butts and they just like make butt art? Is that what am I making that up?
You're not. Watch it. I believe. Nope. Yep. There's this. Yep. That is in that movie as well. Okay. That's one of the planets.
Okay. So, yes. Yep. I don't think I've seen that one all the way through. That's why I asked.
Yep.
Well, that leads me into El Topo then. Let's talk about
exactly.
that one. Alejandro Jodorowsky's crazy Western.
Exactly. Spaghetti Western at times.
I think, what did I see? It was like but it's in Mexico, so they called it something else, and I forget what it was. But anyway.
Yeah.
That movie's crazy. like crazy. The Holy Mountain is a very crazy film. Like with all surrealist films, it's very crazy. Yeah. Also some awkward comedy in it too. Maybe it's just me who finds it comedic, but I think there's like definitely moments that he puts in there that are like
in a lot of surrealist films. There's instances of comedy.
I like it.
Mulholland Drive, there's instances of comedy. Looking at David Lynch
and Blue Velvet,
Blue Velvet, Eraserhead. There's even pieces of comedy in that, if you can find it. But I also just saw recently Santa Sangre, which was the third film of Jodorowsky.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of filled out that trilogy of El Topo, Holy Mountain, Santa Sangre.
Okay.
It's his first go at a full-on horror film. So it's a surrealist horror versus a strictly surrealist or a surrealist Western.
Right.
It's a surrealist horror film. And there are a couple twists that you kind of get as you're going through it, and then you're like, okay, I kind of get it now.
Right.
So, and it works in a way. A lot of weird imagery.
But that's always, especially with the horror, that's what you kind of want,
And I think a good segue from surrealism going into...
Surrealism.
science fiction.
Okay.
I feel like that would be a good connection there to kind of go into, because you have weirdness of reality... And then you can go into how people view the future of reality.
A mirror of reality, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't want to be lame and say 2001, but it's so iconic, it's so influential, it's so beautiful to see. I don't want to... I'll pick a different one, but that's really number one.
But yeah, but if you're thinking sci-fi, you gotta think of a bunch of different films.
I know. Yeah, I know, because there's some things that are like pseudo sci-fi, but not really. It Follows gets a little sci-fi.
Yes. Logan's Run.
Think
about Logan's Run. Soylent Green.
Green. I actually just watched the original Westworld last night.
Oh yes, I've never seen that. I have to see that.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. Yeah, on the show.
But I know there's Downsizing. The Matt Damon film was a sci-fi film.
Technically a sci-fi film. Also, I did not like that film.
No, I don't think anybody did.
Yeah,
I've seen some defense of it online. In a couple years, people are gonna love it, but I'm like. No, that movie's not.
So, but would you go with 2001 as your favorite?
I think I have to.
Yep.
I don't think it's the one I could put on the most and watch all the way through the most.
Yep.
But I still love it. But you know what? I think I'm gonna go with the original Alien.
Yep.
I think that's a perfect film. I think everything is done perfectly. Yes. Nice. Like the setups, the action, the drama. The designs by Giger, of course.
Yep.
Excuse me. Sci-fi, excuse me.
I'm going to go cliche and say Metropolis. One of the original sci-fi films. In my opinion, I see that as a perfect movie. From beginning to end, every shot is made. It's very German expressionist.
Of course, with Fritz Lang.
And then it's also very communist in its views.
Right.
Or, not communist, sorry, socialist.
Right, yes.
In its views, especially workers' rights, things of that nature. But the way that the world is built, the way it's shown, it's very so much as I feel like it's more of a realistic look at the future than kind of even the 70s had.
Yeah.
Logan's Run took place in, it's only about 250 years.
I was going to say a couple hundred.
240 years from now. You know what I mean? So it's 254 years actually that I just saw on TCM.
Oh, there you go.
And even I don't see most of the stuff in 250 years happening.
Right.
So, but even with Metropolis, they had indoor gardens. That's now. You do have a flying car now. You have flying transportation.
Right.
This is even before this is the very beginnings of planes.
Right.
It's what could they have done?
Right.
You see blimps in the city of the future. It's we have blimps now.
That's crazy.
Also, fun fact, there are only about 11 blimps left in existence.
In the world?
And they're not for passenger. That's I just saw an article on that somewhere.
Is one of them the Goodyear blimp?
I think Goodyear has 2 or 3 blimps that they rotate out.
That makes sense. Gotta sell those tires.
Oh yeah.
Metropolis also a very iconic film though.
It is, and I feel I don't see it talked about enough.
I don't think so, and especially with Fritz Lang's work, I think M overshadows it a little. Even though I love M, it's a great film, goddamn, what's the other one? I can't remember the other one. It's another silent film, I believe.
Cabinet of... That's not Fritz Lang.
That's not Fritz. I think Is that fizzling? I don't think it is.
No.
Oh, our lack of knowledge is...
So, I don't know how to segue into comedy, so let's just talk about our favorite comedies.
That's a good one. I think we gotta split this... into quote-unquote classic comedy and then modern comedy.
I would agree, because there's such a switch that happens, especially in the 90s.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It, it turns into that... Like, not exploitation, but like gross out humor kind of. And then we evolve from that.
Yeah, especially in the 90s, like early 2000s. Yeah. Definitely. So, classic comedy. Let's start with classic comedy.
I want to say the original producers, but I think I like Blazing Saddles just that little bit more. Mm-hmm. I think it has... Obviously, it has a social satire, and it has.
It does. Yeah.
It's just an outlandish film, but it also still holds up in an outrageous way that like people could view as offensive, even though like the whole point is to mock offensiveness.
Exactly, but it does such a good job at mocking offensiveness. Right. Exactly. By mocking that offensiveness.
And that's good satire when you can't tell a difference.
Exactly. Really. You'd be like, wait, huh? They did that? Yeah. Right. But we get it.
Obviously, not everything in that film ages gracefully. Yeah. Like there's the French Mistake number that's like very homophobic at the end, but
I mean all the use of white sheets and
but I think that's my favorite classic. What's your favorite classic?
Ooh, I'm gonna go Airplane. I have to go Airplane. Zucker.
I just Jeremy Zucker watched that. Yeah, the Zucker brothers.
Zucker brothers. Yeah. Every time I watch that movie, there's something new that I see that makes me laugh. I quote so much of that movie all the time. But every time I watch it, there's one thing that you notice that you never notice.
Like, I never saw them do that. Like in the background, or there's some like that one too. There's some things that don't age well, not because of like offensiveness, but just like there's some like weird like political references to the time that like don't exactly hit. But like most of it's pretty evergreen. I feel
he never drinks coffee at home.
Modern comedy.
Ooh, okay. Napoleon Dynamite is up there as we discussed. I would also say that Scott Pilgrim is also very comedic. I feel like you can't really talk a lot about modern comedy because there's so many genres already that are in it.
There's so many like
you can make comedy out of anything. Yes. I mean, I'm one of those rare people that kind of likes Freddy Got Fingered, and that I watch it and sort of like. He's also satirizing comedy in a way.
Yeah, that's like in a league of its own, like
very much so. But like. People will be quick to judge that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I will say. They're just like, oh, it's stupid. But the stupid comedy is what's really good. Or sleeper comedies. Nacho Libre.
That's a fun one.
Is up there because there's really funny moments in that. And the way they've done it. That was a Nickelodeon movie. That was made by Nickelodeon Studios. And they made one of the best sleeper comedies that I think is up there with Napoleon Dynamite.
Really?
In terms of sleeper comedy status.
I respect. Well, that makes sense. I think it's the same director. Jared Hess, I believe it is.
Yep. But I don't think I could really nail down a favorite modern comedy.
I know. I'm between two, honestly. I'm between... I love Superbad.
That's a great one.
I know it's kind of like a bro-y, you know, it gets like a little bit of a reputation.
Judd Apatow.
It's still...
Right, that's Judd Apatow?
If not, it has a lot of the same cast.
Or, no, it's Seth Rogen wrote
it. Oh, yeah, Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg,
Evan Goldberg, yep.
It's so funny. It's the perfect high school film.
It is. It's a very perfect high school film.
It it makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
And it has surprisingly good writing. Obviously, you need to have
very good writing.
Jokes,
yes, very good writing.
They all land very well.
Exactly. All the jokes in that film hit you, and it's like, oh, you can get it and be like, oh, that's some, but then other ones you just be like,
yeah, right?
Laughter.
And then, of course, there's like a mix of things. There's like clever bits, but there's also like a montage of dicks drawn as different characters.
Yep.
So, and if you have I have the Blu-ray of it, so you can like see all these different dick drawings.
It's one of my favorite modern movie openings. It's just that 70s style dance going on. But what was the other one that you said that you were gonna say?
I want to say Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. It's a Lonely Island film.
Oh,
it's the Justin Bieber like parody concert film type thing. Mm-hmm. Really underrated. Really underrated. No one really talks about it. It's gotten a little more love in the past couple years. Obviously, it only came out in 2016, but when it came out, it even took me a while to see it. And when I did, I was like, why did no one talk about this? This is like a perfect parody. And it's also hilarious. It's got a great cast. a lot of music people in it because they do like talking heads of all these random music people.
Oh, that's great.
And they talk about like how influential like Usher's there. He's like, I knew I wanted to dance when I saw the donkey roll, which is their like iconic dance.
Oh yeah,
it's really good.
Now let's talk about films that we wouldn't necessarily put into a genre.
Okay. Ooh, tough.
I would put. I feel like there's or like I would think of maybe as like a separate genre as like just a period piece film.
Okay.
So I would put into that Dazed and Confused.
Okay, I see you.
American Graffiti.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, The Last Picture Show.
All those films you named, I love them.
Last Picture Show, I saw that for the first time just last year.
Oh yeah. And I think so. Me too. I think actually
that is one of those films that really hits you.
Yeah. It moves very quickly, but then it slows down when it needs to.
Exactly.
It's so dusty, and like the town.
Yes.
I hate when people say like, "Oh, the town or the city is the character," but it really is.
It really is. Exactly, it is. Dazed and Confused. The nightlight, the woods is a character. The football field is a character.
Yes.
American Graffiti. The cars are all characters.
The road strip is a character.
Yeah,
yep.
It's all they work in tandem with the environment around
exactly. And now I'm trying to think of some like non like
kind of or just maybe like on a I would either call that like strictly
period piece right
or ensemble. I mean, even period. I would even say like Barry Lyndon.
Right. I was thinking Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
I was thinking Little Women because I just saw the 2019 Little Women, which I loved. I was also thinking The Favorite. One of my favorite films, and also one of my favorite films of last year from Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah. I would even put in there Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh, great film! Fantastic.
I would consider that a period piece because it just follows a week in the life, right?
Yeah.
It's not really a drama or a comedy.
It has both.
Or a this.
Exactly, it has like everything. Plus a great folk soundtrack.
For both films. One of my favorite soundtracks ever is Oh Brother Art Thou, just because it works really well. And then Inside Llewyn Davis just has an awesome soundtrack. I mean, Justin Timberlake was amazing in that movie.
I know.
I was like, we got to get Justin Timberlake doing more old folk rockers.
It's the perfect.
And then you had Carey Mulligan, who acted amazingly. As the ex.
Cat, Orange Cat.
Oh, Cat. Yeah. The professors that he goes to visit are the best. I want them to be my best friends.
Adam Driver's in it for a second.
Yep.
And he just goes,
uh-oh.
Oh, shoot.
Uh-oh. Hey, Mr. Kennedy. Uh-oh, dude. Outer space.
Oh my god, it's so that's so good.
And then he shows up with a lightsaber and goes. Spoiler alert, he does this.
I've been meaning to rewatch that recently.
I also have to rewatch the new Star Wars as well. Because I originally saw it in 3D.
Oh, really?
And I kind of want to go back and see it in 2D now, just so maybe it's a different experience.
Now I'll go and do 3D, and then we'll compare.
Yeah. Also, best movie of... how about let's do best movie of the last year?
Okay, so 2019.
To kind of close out this inaugural episode.
Do you want to... Okay, yes, go ahead, sorry. I was gonna say
you go ahead.
I was going to say decade as well, but if you want to save that for another time...
Yeah, we could do decade another show.
Word.
But
let's talk about 2019.
Exactly. So... I'll let you start with that.
My favorite film, I think I put Parasite as my favorite film.
Bong Joon-ho. Right?
Yes, exactly, yes.
Did you see him at the Golden Globes?
Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho, yes.
I was like, that's right. Yes, what's the quote?
He said if Americans can get over
the one-inch barrier of subtitles, you'd be open to much more amazing films. And that's so true!
It definitely is, because people, as soon as, this America... Balls in your court. Watch foreign films, please.
Like everyone is saying it's one of the best films of the year, and people are just like, I have to read.
Exactly. I would say my favorite of 2019 would have to be A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh yes, you're telling me about
Tom
this.
Hanks as Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just follow Mr. Rogers. This movie is about the man who interviewed him for Time Magazine. And I believe Time Magazine, yes, it was Time Magazine. But there's elements where it kind of goes surreal. And the framing devices are amazing in that. There's fourth wall breaks, which I didn't expect. That left me crying in the theater.
That makes sense.
That was doing that. Also, Cats. Cats was the best movie of 2019, hands down. Judi Dench I love you. Also, oh, come on. Why did they have to do that to Jennifer Hudson? Jennifer Hudson won a Grammy, and they put her on all fours. Jennifer Hudson won a Grammy, people. Taylor Swift has won Grammys,
There's a dame and a sir.
Okay, so I will say, Sir Ian McKellen was the best part of that movie. His song was great. There were parts of that movie that were like, okay. Ian McKellen was the best part of that movie.
Is he Mistopheles?
Ian McKellen was Gus the theater cat.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the old theater cat.
Yes.
I will say I did not like the way he pronounced the word youth. Use.
Oh, no.
He says, I was in my use. And,
he can't make faux sounds anymore.
I will also say that there's also a really good way that they talk about, like, instead of crossing fingers, they cross paws, which is a cool thing. And
that's so lame.
There's this really just quick little tiny scene of Mr. Mistopheles, the magician cat, talking to Gus, the theater cat, backstage, and he's just like, I'm a big fan of your work and everything that you've done. And like they share like this moment of sort of like,
cat solidarity.
Cat solidarity. From the youngness to the oldness, that's sort of
passing of the baton.
Passing of the baton of the performance-wise, and coming from a theater kid, also a theater kid here.
I'm also thinking, but
you kind of get it. You're like, okay, Taylor Swift, bye. All these cats were also very horny.
Oh, I've heard it's a very horny.
There's
film.
A scene where like legit the moon comes out, and there's points where there's just the moon, and they start like pop locking, and the tails shoot up in like weird ways, and they all start like violently shaking. There's a cat that tap dances, and he wears suspenders and pants, and he wears tap shoes. His name is Skimbleshanks, the railway cat. Skimbleshanks is the best. Skimbleshanks, the railway cat, the cat of the railway train. Oh, then there's Buster Jones, who's James Corden. Yes. This is just going to turn into a Cats review real quick.
I was going to say, might as well.
So, James Corden is James Corden. It kind of works, it doesn't.
Isn't Rebel Wilson also Rebel Wilson?
Rebel Wilson is Rebel Wilson, trying to be a cat. Her name is Jenny Annie Dots. I know all the names. So, I love the original musical. And you can shame me all you want. But I love the original musical Cats.
He loves cats.
I love cats. I'm a dog person, but I love the musical Cats. Because it works. Okay? It works.
No. It's a show about cats introducing themselves, and then one of them dies. That's it.
Wait. I think you're right. Cut. Cut it. Now. We don't need this.
It's just us.
We don't. No, I can't have that.